Hey all, it's Jace here from Blackovis. We're here with our good friend McKinley from Crispi. We actually have a really cool project here in front of us today. So McKinley, you got a new gun for Christmas. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I picked up a Christensen Arms 6.5 PRC. It's the Mesa, and I'm pretty excited to get it all up and going.
It's exciting, man. It's gonna be a super nice rig. You having a hunt coming up too, right?
Yeah, so I've got a cow elk hunt up in Idaho, so late season, you know,
freezer
it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, freezer filler, awesome, man. Yeah, so you know, we're a couple weeks out from the hunt. We're gonna get you set up today, hopefully get to the range. First things first, we'll clean it, make sure that your barrel is good and clean, get any of that excess machining grease, things like that out of it. We're gonna prep your action, obviously put a base on it, rings, the optic, get you all level, bore sighted, and then hopefully we got some time, weather holds up, we'll go shoot it today. So,
perfect.
Cool, man, sounds good. Stick around, kind of tune in with us here, and we'll catch you back at the range. Obviously, we're gonna clean your gun today. I wanna use a bore guide, and we're gonna actually clean it from the receiver side.
Okay.
Biggest reason is if, you know, this is called the crown of your barrel. Take your break off here. So this very end of your barrel where the bullet is exiting the riflings and the actual bore of the rifle, if you happen to nick that with a cleaning rod as you're cleaning it, you know, it may even just be a slight scratch to the eye. But in slow motion, you can imagine as the projectile or the bullet's leaving the barrel and that gas may escape sooner on one side or the other. You might think it's gonna push it. It's probably not even enough to push the bullet. It's gonna be enough to destabilize it though. And accuracy issues become a big thing. So you hear a lot of like long range guys talk about the crown and different things about the crown. Protect this, you know, you do have a break on this gun, so it is gonna be pretty protected. But whenever we clean, you know, we wanna clean from the receiver side. So I have a bore guide here. It's gonna ensure that we hit the center of your bore every time with our rod, and we're not gonna nick, you know, your lands on this side of the riflings as well. So anyway, so we'll go over that more as we start cleaning here, so. Barrel's clean, McKinley. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna prep your action here and actually, you know, mount your base up. We'll get Loctite on it, all that good stuff, and then we'll dive into getting everything mounted, the optic placed on, and then we're gonna fit it to you. So we wanna make sure that your eye relief's correct, and in all the multitude of positions we may shoot in when we're hunting, we'll kind of spot check a couple of those. Literally, we'll probably just drop down here on the floor in the warehouse and make sure that everything fits you good, and we'll go from there. So cool.
Awesome.
Okay. The screws go in them a little bit tighter than if they weren't Cerakoted, just because there's some Cerakote in your screw holes, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, and yeah, I just kind of try to make sure there's even pressure. A lot of people don't think about it. This is a steel action, so it's stiffer than most, but you put a one-piece base on top of a steel action, you can actually flex the action. Like if your base isn't machined perfectly and then you start torquing screws down and you're not torquing things right, you can have issues. So we'll get, wow, that's pretty good. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
Just eyeballed that. This mounted up here. It's got a little micro adjust knob on there too, so once we get it close, we can bump it if we need to. Okay, so McKinley, I'm gonna put your level on here. We obviously have your rings on the base itself. Your level's loose, it's in place. We're gonna obviously do a final level on it here, but I strategically placed it in front of your turret system. So that way, when you're looking with your non-dominant eye and you're behind the rifle, I like it. I can just quickly check with my left eye and check level before I engage the shot. Okay. Some people will put it before your turrets, but then you run into issues blocking your parallax adjustment here on the side. So yeah, we're just gonna put this on the other side here. You're gonna have plenty of clearance, and you should just be able to do a quick spot check before you take that shot and make sure that you're level. So yeah, we'll finish up leveling it here in a second when we get it all fit to you.
Perfect.
So, okay. Obviously, we're mounting the rings now. Level, it's not level yet. We're gonna work on that in a second, but I want you to throw the rifle to your shoulder, and we're gonna set your eye relief, and we're not just gonna set on one magnification. Like a lot of people will screw up and they'll actually just set their magnification on the or their eye relief on the low magnification, but that gives you the largest eye relief. And then if they turn their magnification up, all of a sudden they may not have that full field of view.
Right.
And that just becomes a problem. You're leaning into the rifle and then you deal with getting scoped and things like that. So we really just want to make sure that you've got a full range there and you're not having to do anything funky with your cheek.
Perfect.
So I'll have you just shoulder that rifle. I like to just kind of close your eye, do it natural, and open your eye a couple times and make sure you have a good clear image there. It's kind of hard. I don't know if you can see there. Maybe look over towards the light a little bit more. You got good image there. You feel like you got a good full field of view.
Yeah, it's a little bit shadowed, but.
Lean your head back a little bit. Does it get better or worse?
Better.
Better? Okay, we may have to push it forward slightly. So that's why we do this. So
perfect.
Let's push it forward a little bit and then we'll repeat the process.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's good. That's on the top end of your magnification range now. Are you still good? Do you have to lean in?
I have to lean in a bit.
Have to lean in. So maybe we're gonna find the common ground then. We're gonna come back towards you just slightly.
Okay.
And then repeat the process. Now we kind of know the top end and the bottom end, and this is why it's so important for people to do this and not just trust somebody behind a gun counter to set your stuff up. Like, we're all such different builds, you know, and positional. Like, we'll get into that a little bit when we have you lay down and check your plumb bob with your reticle laying on the ground. We're gonna have you look at that because that obviously your body angle
is different.
Yeah,
right.
It's presented to the rifle a lot different and
a little bit closer up.
Yep, and we all know if there's gonna be a problem hunting, you know, you're gonna figure it out real quick.
Yeah,
does that seem better?
It seems a little bit better. I mean, still leaning in a bit, but that
we
might
have plenty of room to work with. Everything's still loose, so. And you know, it's kind of the nature of the beast when you're dealing with a rifle optic that's got a large magnification range like this. Like, you just kind of have to find the common ground that'll work for the majority of your stuff. Hunting out west here, I like to set my eye relief up on the top end, knowing I'm probably going to be shooting a deer across a canyon or a draw. It's not always going to be 25 yards in, you know, the thick stuff. So keep that in mind. It's a lot easier to make a shot up close than the long range too. So
yeah, that's definitely better on the
eye relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's it? We have a little bit more room.
Yeah, I
feel like that's it.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We have all the time in the world. Let's get it right. So you got basically that much more here, but then if I want, I could drop that ring back here, and then you still got a ton more room. So if you think you need it, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It felt good there?
Yeah, it felt good.
Okay. The cool thing about this optic is it does have a pretty generous eye box, so it's a lot more forgiving than some of the other optics out there. All right, McKinley, go ahead and get on the gun, get comfortable. Let's double check eye relief first. So, you know, I know this isn't perfect on the cement, but neither is hunting. So does everything feel natural there?
Yeah, it feels good.
Okay,
There's
perfect.
definitely a big shadow though.
Big shadow?
Yep.
So you may be a little bit close to it just looking at your body right now. Lean it out a little bit. Get that gun on your shoulder.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that better? Yeah, I think you just weren't quite in the stock perfect. Is that better?
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay, cool. Now we have our plumb bob hung there on the wall. So don't worry about your levels right now. I want you to line that crosshair up on the actual line of the plumb bob right now.
Okay.
So that the very top of your scope is on it and the very bottom of your scope is on it. So your vertical crosshair is on the actual line.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So when we're gonna obviously go and check your levels, and also check your head orientation, make sure you're not putting a bunch of pressure on the stock. And we wanna make sure that they line up. It is hard because the width of that line at this distance is a little bit wide, but just do your best to center up the crosshair on that.
Yeah.
We're just gonna confirm that the levels are reading true. So once we do that, we're good to go to the range. We're gonna bore sight it and get you on paper, so.
All right.
Okay. You should be about 1.5 inches high right here. So the 2 inches low plus 1.5 inches. Go ahead and pop up on your turret and go up to 4.5. That would be 3.5 inches.
Right or left?
The last one I shot the left target.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right.
Well, how do you feel about it, McKinley?
Yeah, I'm ready to go kill an elk next week.
Yeah, so I mean, we obviously took it to the range, did some 100-yard stuff, got it zeroed on paper first at 25, took it to 100, and then kind of the final zero at 200.
Right.
I mean, for a factory gun at 200 yards, these were the first couple shots, brought it over, and we finished with these here. Like, I mean, dude, you can't complain with that about that. So
no, that's enough to kill an elk.
Yep, for sure. Medium ranges, like, I'm quite confident it's going to be in the boiler room. Aaron looks good too. We have Aaron obviously going on the hunt with us. Started here, shot a very respectable group at 200 yards with factory ammo. Come over, we were just a little bit on this side of it, brought it over a couple clicks, and we know he'll be right there as well. So awesome. I mean, I think I'd be feeling pretty good if I was you guys going into the hunt. You know, hopefully that you guys catch some footage of the hunt, updates on social media or whatnot. Tune in more. If you guys have any questions, any of the products you guys seen today, call McKinley if you have any Crispi questions. He's the man. Got a good customer service team there as well. And then call us here at Blackovis for any other questions. So thanks for tuning in.